Breaking news tonight. A Blue Angels jet went down in a fiery crash this afternoon in Smyrna, Tennessee, which is just outside of Nashville. The pilot did not eject from the fighter jet, and we have learned that he did not survive this crash. Now, this is a photograph of the jet that exploded into a fireball. Witnesses say the force of the crash shook their homes. The plane crashed immediately after takeoff into a neighborhood. The Blues were practicing for a show that was set to take place this weekend. Just moments ago, News 5 has learned the name of the Blue Angels pilot killed this afternoon. He is Captain Jeff Kuss. He is the opposing solo pilot. He was the U.S. Marine Corps and joined the Blue Angels in September of 2014. Now, this is video from November of last year. We are still getting a lot of new information coming out about what may have happened in this crash. Let's check in with News 5's Alan Carter, who is live in our newsroom. Alan.
And Devin, that show this weekend is the Great Tennessee Air Show, which is an event that happens just outside of, in Smyrna rather, which is just outside of Nashville. And what you're looking at now, this is video from an apartment complex that is just behind the crash site, and that's courtesy of our sister station in Nashville. And you can see other members of the Blue Angels flight team walking around and surveying this scene. This is a close-knit group of pilots. I've interviewed some of these guys before. You saw that video of Captain Kuss, and as you can imagine, these guys travel the world together and are very much like a family unit within themselves. This investigation is now being handled by the U.S. military and the FAA. According to witnesses on the ground, the plane was doing some sort of a spiral climb and then nosedive into the ground. But even in that moment, one of the witnesses credits that pilot for saving lives.
Fireball, some big old fireball, and then it turned into a solid black, like tar, pitch black, and it just kept rolling up. Still doing that when I came down here. I will give the pilot a lot of credit. He avoided the house and he avoided other lives, which is really great. Unfortunately, to say on that bad, but.
Of course, we do have an affinity for the Blues here, but this is also a very big event for that area. Folks all over there look forward to this every year. Media was riding with the Blues just yesterday, and the video you are seeing now is from this morning, the Blues flying over downtown Nashville. And overall, this is just a tragic and heartbreaking event both here and there. Devin, we'll send it back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Alan. Well, Congressman Bradley Byrne released a statement about the tragedy in Smyrna. He says, quote, "The reports out of Tennessee are deeply troubling, and my heart breaks for the pilot, his loved ones, and the entire Blue Angels family. Here on the Gulf Coast, we have made the Blue Angels our own, so this incident is personal to us. My prayers are with all those impacted by this tragic accident." Of course, the Blue Angels known for flying a dangerous acrobatic routine. For more on the history of their high-wire act, News 5's JB Buno joins us live in the Web Center. JB.
Yeah, Devin, the Blues not only put on one of the best shows in the sky, but they do it a lot. There were 70 scheduled shows this year, with Saturday being number 24, as Alan said, at the Great Tennessee Air Show. Really a big event, not to mention all the practicing that they do throughout the year, many of them at NAS Pensacola. But Blue Angels crashes, for the most part, if you consider how much they fly, they're really rare. This is just the second deadly crash in the last decade. You might remember in April of 2007, Lieutenant Commander Kevin Davis died after a crash in South Carolina. It was in the final minutes of an air show in the number 6 plane. He's buried at Barrancas National Cemetery on NAS Pensacola. Now, if you think the Blues have the best equipment in the biz, think again. In fact, as News 5 reported last year, pieces were literally falling off the F/A-18 Hornets during air show performances. It happened twice in 2 weeks back in 2015. Both times, though, each pilot landing safely, but as we reported so many times, finding replacement parts for the F/A-18 Hornet is extremely difficult, almost as difficult as getting new planes themselves. Point being, when the incoming class of Blue Angels, they received their planes for the first time, those planes, they already have a ton of wear and tear to the point where pieces are literally falling off the planes mid-flight. Devin, the planes, they're really old and they're flown a lot, as we've talked about. This was the second practice run of the day in Tennessee, the first one being over downtown Nashville around 9:40 this morning.
Yeah, a lot of people saw photographs from those practices today. Thank you very much, JB. Well, the crash of the Blue Angels jet comes less than an hour after a Thunderbird went down in Colorado Springs just after flying over a graduation ceremony attended by President Obama. The pilot was able to eject, and local media reports that he is uninjured. Early reports from the Air Force say the cause of the crash may have been engine failure. This was the pilot's first year with the team. Now, WKRG News 5 still pulling in more information on this tragedy involving the Blue Angels. We will have updates throughout this newscast. Now, a press conference from the crash site is expected in the next 10 to 15 minutes, and we will take that live from Tennessee as soon as we hear it is happening. So stay tuned right here to News 5.